It's time to let everyone have an opinion, have a campfire discussion where we argue about fandom. Welcome to Nerd War. Warning and disclaimer. The views and opinions expressed on this live feed are those of the guests, speakers, and/or hosts, and do not necessarily reflect the beliefs, official policies, ethics, or positions of the content providers, advertisers, additional hosts, and/or guests, hosting sites, groups, or entities attached to this programming. Viewer discretion is advised. Welcome to what is the first of what may be many, maybe just one, editions of Nerd War. We're going to put the links out there. You guys are free to join. And we're going to introduce our first guest. What is going on, Jay Magnum?
Hey, Rob. Thanks for having me on tonight. I appreciate that.
Well, of course, let's get the shameless plug out of the way. Tell them who you are, how they can follow you, and what's going on with you right now, because you have something in cooking, don't you?
Sure thing. Yeah, I certainly do. So I've got a Kickstarter that's scheduled to go live on September 15th. It's for Astral Alliance. That's my sci-fi action adventure graphic novel. And I think I've got a couple of the previous graphic novels that we did. This is actually the third one. So I brought a couple to show you, show and tell. So this one I'm holding here is the one we did a couple of years ago, Astral Evolution. This is the first one here, Astral Genesis, that we did. And I think you might be familiar with them, Rob. You might be, because I think I sent you electronic copies of them or something. So you probably heard of them before. I know that we met at a couple of shows. But I'm really excited about the Astral Alliance. That's our third book in 3 years' time. And each of these books is like 128 pages. Full color, like I said, action adventure. I think folks are really going to love it. And like I said, our official launch date is September 15th, but the rumor is I might hit the button a little bit early on that. Let's see. I can also...
I was muted. Show up the covers. I'm saying show us some of the covers.
Like sure.
You have such beautiful art.
Yeah, thanks. Yeah. Ariel Medel did the art. He is down in Mexico. So this one over here is Astral Genesis. That's the first one. And Astral Evolution's our second one. So let me get it both in the shot right there. There you go. You can see him. And Ariel also did the art for the third one. So he's done somewhere in the neighborhood of 330 or 340 pages for us. It's a lot of pages. It's a lot of work over 3 years.
And where is he out of again?
Ariel himself, he's down in Mexico City.
No, I mean, what? Oh, Mexico City, like the city of. I don't know Mexico well enough, I guess. Mm-hmm. I didn't know if you just meant like, because we think of New Mexico up here. I was like, is he in Mexico?
No, he's actually down in Mexico. Yeah.
Okay.
And we have people working all over the place. I believe our inker is in Indonesia, so we're all over the world. I had some design work done in Europe, and we've also had some work done in India as well. So it's a global affair, these Astral books.
Yeah, and so the topic tonight is going to be about Comic Cons. I almost said page counts because I got the Devil's Advocate tomorrow night. Pop said, this is what we need, more war. Well, this war is kind of fun. It lets us all come in and kind of just talk about things and argue with each other, but in that friendly way. I was saying, my You're Not Alone series tonight, don't you miss going to cons and arguing with your friends about stupid things about what's in the theaters?
Yeah, I mean, that's two things that we haven't had over the last year, right? Movies in theaters and Comic Cons. We could have been missing that for like the last 6 months.
So how has your con experience been? Let's start there. How many shows did you do before this pandemic? And what did you think of shows in general?
Yeah, I mean, I enjoy going to shows. I did as many as I could. I work a job, I'm, middle of the week, Monday through Friday. So it can be tough for me to do the shows that are like 4-day shows or even week-long shows, but definitely shows on the weekend I would do for sure. I could do 3-day shows. I did MegaCon a few times. That's 4-day shows. But typically he's probably doing around 8 to 10 shows a year for probably the last 3 or 4 years. So quite a few, actually. Yeah.
All right. So what's your favorite part of shows?
Well, I mean, definitely for me, my favorite part of shows is just connecting with people, connecting with the fans, talking to people, talking to folks that do cosplay, talking to my fellow creators that are like on either side of the table of me or across from me. And I like to get out and around a little bit, talk to some of the folks in Artist Alley, that kind of thing. Just meet people, talk to them. Try to also meet artists that can maybe do commission work. Like I met a couple of artists at MegaCon that ended up doing covers, variant covers for my Astro books, stuff like that. So it's really connecting with the people. So, I do miss a lot of that. Now for the last 6 months, we haven't had cons. I think my last con that I attended was, let's say it was March. So it's been a good 6 months, going on 7 months now.
I was in March. I was in a mall show. I've actually probably got close to a record number of shows for this year. I've done 5 this year.
Oh, wow.
No one has gotten 5 in that I've talked to. I haven't met a person who did 5. Everyone planned to do a lot more than 5 shows this year.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, I certainly did.
Running in January and February because we were done by the first week of March.
Yeah, I think I did. I think I got 3, and I had one in January, one in February, and I can't remember if I had 1 or 2 in March, 3 or 4 anyway. But yeah, no, I don't know anybody that's gotten to 6. I think I had, before they all got canceled, I believe I had 10 for this year scheduled, but I only got to like 3 or 4.
Yeah, I mean, I had 22 scheduled, and yeah, I did 5. I don't think it's going to go higher than 5. Unless you count all those online cons I've done. Oh my God, I've done like 107.
Yeah, the online cons, there's definitely been a lot of that going. I think it's people's way to kind of fill in the gaps, fill in, I think, what we're all feeling we're missing, right? So that the connecting with the people, I think it's all about that. I think people were missing that, and online is probably the only way you can do it right now, right?
Yeah, and I'm inviting everyone in to be part of the conversation now. So you're all welcome to be part of this. But I'll say it right now. For the most part, online cons suck. They have not lived up to it because I think a lot of it's just execution. It becomes about the person hosting it versus what the fan wants. And the one thing that's missing, and it's the hardest thing to change, is the person who walks into the room doesn't get to choose where they go. And that's hard. The second biggest problem with it is the fact that you get more panel than you do show. Not enough people have come on here. Like Fandom, DC Fandom, they got it. They figured it out.
Mm-hmm.
Running the pre-taped ads, having some shows. Pre-taped ads, excitement, boom, colors, all that. They really cracked a nut. I can't wait to see what New York Comic Con does now because I think DC Fandom really showed them what to do. And I'm kind of looking for that. So
yeah, I guess we'll see. I'm as curious as you. I have no idea what they're going to do.
Yeah, it's definitely one of those moments where, look, cons are there, and online ones and all that. So, man, it's hard. It's hard because a lot of people are just trying. They are just trying to do something. They're trying to make the best. Lemons making lemonade. Some people, I just saw something today, and I have to reach out to a friend. It looks like they're doing a 30-day event that coincides with a Kickstarter, and I thought that was kind of interesting. I thought that was.
I think I saw that too. I saw a couple of people doing that. Yeah, I don't know how that's going to work. It might work to draw some people in that maybe otherwise wouldn't have seen it. So I don't know. I haven't seen anyone doing that before. I think I received a couple of notices that some people that were putting on Kickstarters were also putting on like Facebook events or something like that. So
yeah,
I don't know. I guess we'll see.
It'll be interesting. I mean, think about it. We're basically doing a bunch of shows, and Pops is one of those guys who's joining us now, who's helped a lot of people with Kickstarters. Once you're on Kickstarter or you're in crowdfunding, you need to be on as many shows as you can. So maybe throwing a 30-day event isn't such a bad idea because it feels like we're online every day during our events anyway. So what's going on, Pops?
Oh, well, I figure since we're talking cons, I might as well come out and explain the split between CromCon and Comics Cast, which really isn't all that big of a deal.
Okay.
I mean, you know me, Rob. I've never been about monetizing or anything with my shows about, none of that. No donations, no charging, none of that.
Well, I'm going to give you the floor then, because I know this is something that's breaking. I was made aware, and I did reach out to Pops and ask him how he was doing, and I found out things I didn't even realize. So, Pops, you want to talk about it? I mean, it's a show about cons. It's a campfire. Tell us.
I mean, it's like I said, it's not that big of a deal. I mean, I appreciate what Joe's doing at Comics Cast. Oh, let me quit bouncing my camera. Okay, I appreciate what he's doing. Okay, he's building a network. He's building a business. I'm just not that guy. I'm trying to have fun. Like you said, a fan. Okay, and that's part of why I started doing this. I'm a fan. I'm having fun. And as soon as it becomes something I'm obligated to make somebody successful or help make their platform successful, or I feel like it's on me to do that, it ain't fun anymore. I can't do that. So I'm just going back to doing it on my group. It's no big deal. It's no hard feelings to Joe. There's, I'm not that guy. I'm not trying to build the monster con. I'm trying to have fun and
well, Pops, remember, we're on the radio and a lot of people have no idea what you're talking about. Just give them a little bit of a summary.
Okay, well, we did the first 3 Crom Cons, of course, in our own group. We didn't have a platform to do it on, and then Joe Tolliver asked if I wanted to bring the con to his platform, and I was like, yeah. I mean, it's like more viewers. It's for you guys. I want to get you more viewers. But like I said, then when I realized he was paying for advertising and stuff like that, and it made me feel like I had an obligation to his network rather than to you guys as creators that are in my cons. You guys are the ones I'm trying to do this for, not nobody else. This ain't about,
Tell us about the con. You actually haven't really introduced what you do with CromCon. Why don't you go ahead and talk to us about that?
CromCon started because of COVID, obviously. I had this little group. We had like 400 people. Maybe half of them were creatives, and when all the cons started going down, all my friends are like, oh my God, no table, no table, no table. They keep my money, my hotel money. Oh, and people were freaking out. Rob, people were freaking out. I'm like, what can I do to help my friends? Well, I'm watching Polito over there. ECCC went down, and me and Brian were kind of talking. And it was like, what are you going to do? And he's like, oh, I'll figure it out. I got some. I'm just going to have him ship all my stuff back from Phoenix, or back to Phoenix from Seattle. And then he put on a con that weekend, and just sold all his ECCC stuff. Well, he has a huge following, and that's not an issue for Brian. He can go out any day and get a whole bunch of people to watch. He does it all the time. I'm not that guy. It took me a month of telling everybody, yo, we're going to do a con next month, first weekend of the month. Everybody who wants to be part of it, come on out, and I'm no con organizer. I'm a fan. Now, for those of you who are on the radio, you can't see this, but my first con, I wrote down the guest list on a paper plate. That is the extent of my organizational skills. I'm not a computer guy. I'm not a con organizer. I'm a fan. So I try to make it entertaining. And it's each month has been a little bit of learning a little bit more about how to keep people engaged, keep people interested. We try not to do like the big panels all day. We save the big panel for the end of the night. That's how the night blows out. We start at 9 o'clock. It goes until 1, 2 o'clock in the morning sometimes. Just anybody comes out, and that's the great part for the people who don't actually get a time slot, because they can still come out and be part of it. So we do that. It's never been like high pressure sale. It's been about bringing people out. They can tell about their projects, like a little 30-minute infomercial for the creators. They can bring out their own co-host to do a Q&A with. They can have me do a Q&A. They can come out there by themselves, do whatever they want, draw, pitch their project, their art. It's just wide open. We added some other people like Pete Vasquez, who created his own pre-con show called Pete's Pit, which brought in a bunch of cosplayers and all kinds of other aspects of the con scene that we didn't really, Pete kind of brought that to it. That's what I mean. It's like we just keep trying to make it more and more fun for people to watch. Basically, I just want it to be fun. I have fun. There, you know, I mean, when I'm out there and I'm talking to these people who, like, sometimes I have no idea who they are. I'm not going to lie. Last time I interviewed Dr. Baron Robert Bell, and I had seen his video because trying to help people market their stuff, I've done some research. And when he wanted to come out of my show and talk about his book, I was blown away. I was the dumb guy. I let him talk, man. You know, I mean, I pretty much just let him talk. And I again learned more from him about how to do this, how to help people sell their books. And that's really all I'm trying to do. That's what CromCon's about. And there's no strife between me and Joe. There's no hard feelings. It's not for me to be that guy trying to build somebody's business. I'm trying to build you guys' businesses. You know what I mean? That's the bottom line.
I mean, look, you know, me and Pops don't always get along. You know, we have different opinions. But the one thing I've always given him credit is he tries to do what he does. Doesn't mean that we have the same methods. We're two different personalities. We're two different people. But I've never kneecapped him or tried to attack him for what he's done. And the arguments we've had are just difference of opinion things. There's no reason that anyone has to hold someone else down. It's all about lifting people up. And I hate when people are trying to rip other people down, blame their failures on other people. You know, we see a lot of that. You know, I can't believe and Pops will know one place that this has happened to me, but I've literally become something that people take screen caps of, show things I say, try to put them out of context. This is not my life where I'm on shows and people try to take what I say. And it's kind of flattering. I mean, people are trying to take words I said and use them to stir, I guess, views or something. But it's weird. And I was telling Pops today, welcome to the club. You're not advocating unless someone's trying to stab you in the back repeatedly and try to tear you down a bit to get ahead.
This is the thing, though. Why would somebody who has benefited from your service and gone out here and told people, yeah, man, I did this and that because of what that guy did, and then come out and trash that guy? Oh, yeah, I'm going to be out there promoting you a lot next month, guy. You know, I mean, what? I'm trying to help you guys, man. And all of you, don't give me a reason not to. That's just shooting yourself in the foot.
Yeah, and it's all about just, you know, letting people be them, not trying to tell people what to do, and letting people go where they want to go. That was the great thing about Comic Cons. There was less bullshit when we had Comic Cons, and now everyone's trying to gatekeep the internet. It's causing problems. It really is. And it's to the point where it's crazy. And I give Varian a lot of credit. Varian lets a lot of different people on a lot of different shows. He lets people have their opinion. It's one of the best things he does. And I'm seeing other groups already forming and whispering. And I think that's happening because Comic Cons aren't around, to be honest with you. I think it's the detriment to us not having Comic Cons right now because we're not seeing people in person anymore. People like to run their mouth online, forgetting that they're going to run into each other, and then it's humanity. You know, it's not like Pops had said at the beginning, oh, another war show, but this one's supposed to be different. This is supposed to be fun. This is supposed to be Nerd War, where we just come out and be nerds for like 20 minutes, 30 minutes, and just have fun talking about one topic and switching off. Like I said, there's too many people out there, and you know, some people mean well, some people don't. So you know, but I don't want to deal with any of that. You know, like I always trust Varian. Varian says always allow people to be who they're going to be, and if they're disrespectful, then that's a problem. If you know, and there are some things that we do have to deal with, and there's difference of opinions, but there has to be enough room in the industry for all of us to live and ignore each other if we don't like each other without trying to kick each other out. And look, I love the free press, don't get me wrong. I'm flattered every time someone takes me and puts me in a screen cap or something like that. I just don't like when people don't quote me right. What's up, B?
Steve, how you feeling, bro?
I've been having a rough day.
Yeah, I heard, man. You okay?
Yeah, it's getting rougher. How's everybody doing?
Really good.
Yeah, I'm sorry, I cut you off. I just came in. I just popped in. Go ahead, continue. Can you continue? I'm sorry, I just popped in here.
No, you're welcome. I gave you the link. We were talking about how you allow people to have conversations and how there's so many people out there now trying to cause divide between people. We're talking about how, and you know how many times I've been screen capped by other people at this point, or had something I've done taken out of context. And it's amazing the stir you can cause by just trying to help people. I mean, Varian, you've been put under with the stuff that you have done with the Indie Volt Radio. People have attacked you for how much of everything you've done, right? This has been a hellish 90 days for you.
Yeah. In fact, you know what? I look back at the little town hall meeting I did about I was shocked that it said 3 weeks ago. And it seemed like it was months ago. But you know, I try to move past stuff. You know, you're attacking me? Okay, that's fine, whatever. I know what I did. It's nothing new. It's been happening to me forever. I always tell people, though, you know, I don't believe in that whole, you know, I mean, I know there's a ring of truth to it when someone says if you're not getting hated on, you're doing, you know, if you're getting hated on, you're doing something right. No one likes it, though. I don't like to be attacked. I don't like to be, you know, taken out of context or misquoted. I don't like it, but I know, you know, but I had people come at me a couple weeks ago. A whole little campaign started, and you know what I've come to realize a lot of times is people aren't so much mad at me. They just don't like what I represent.
You're open. Before you came on here, I was saying you're the only person who has created such a mecca for creators to come and not have to worry, because you won't allow anyone to get attacked. Like, for the record, Varian has said to me, you have to be open and allow people on. You can't attack people. You have to behave. The only time you can go after someone is if they go after you first. And that's Varian's rule to me. He won't let me just attack any guest. There are strict rules. And Varian has made this a place where it's a free form. And he's not pointing fingers at people. He's not telling people they have to do certain things. I mean, the guy's out there making Liberty Distribution, busting his ass for 4 years now. Right? 4 long years to make this work, right?
Yeah. I mean, just about 4 years. I counted more like 5, but you know, that's
5 years. I mean, that's a businessman who spent the time to build it, and he's already getting pushback even about that from certain places. And I'm like, damn, this dude's trying to get books into comic book stores for us. I know he's doing it for Terraform right now. He's out there talking to these shops, and we're being accused of not being open to shops. And meanwhile, we're obviously partnering with Varian, trying to get comic book shops. We're trying to get comic book shops to be on these programs to talk to them. And people are coming around. I've been told I hate comic book shops. And I was like, does that mean I have to stop going to comic book shops? Like, I didn't know I hated them. Like, I had real feelings about that. I had to stop Varian and go, Varian, do I really hate comic book shops? And Varian's like, I don't know, Rob. Do you? Do you hate comic book shops? Like, he looked at me very judgingly and angrily. I was like, I don't, Varian, I promise.
I don't think I hate. Well, first of all, let me say this: I don't hate comic book shops. Some of my most fondest memories with my father in comic book shops. That's number one. But I will say this: when I do a show like Indie Volt Live, it's an opinion. It's an opinion show. It is an opinion show, and it is meant to be your opinion at the time. Your opinions can change. I'm not, let me tell you something. I'm not the same person I was 10 years ago. 10 years ago, I didn't have a child. I didn't have a wife. Now I have both of those things, and I'm not the same person I was. So I believe a person can change. I may hate the SOB for what they did 10 years ago, but, you know, I believe a person can change. I believe a person can change their opinions. I will say this, though. I will defend a person's right to say what they want to say, but you better have the goddamn proof. And not just that, but I will also defend when I know someone is lying their ass off. You know, if I know good and damn well that Rob is spreading an untruth, I will go to Rob and say that's not true. You have to fix it.
The Starscream thing is true. I'm spreading it with. I have
And-
clips of you talking about Starscream. Nothing I said was false. All right, the Thundercracker thing, that was me adding on. I admit,
Funny part
the threesome with the Thundercracker and you and Starscream, that was totally me. I own that one.
the funny part of that is what he was talking about earlier about being flattered by somebody throwing one of your screen caps up or something you said in a video. If you saw me in a video on somebody else's stream, little clips, the whole video's in the group. You can go watch it.
But it's
not hidden, you know. I mean, it's not hidden. It's like they don't have to go out and talk about it. Everybody can watch it and form their own opinion. You know? I mean,
no Thundercracker. Nerd, Thundercracker. Gary Henderson asks, Varian, is Liberty's website up? It is, right?
It is up. It is up. I'm over there doing some work as we speak, cleaning up some stuff, redoing some things. And it
being down wasn't your fault, right? That was something to do with GoDaddy having an issue.
Yeah, what I did was I moved to a better server. I moved to a better server, more secure server. Let me tell you something. I am terrified of a data breach. I am terrified of a data breach. I am terrified of people's content being, someone finding a backdoor and getting out there and doing. I'm terrified of it. So I'm like, look, I'm going to make sure I spend the money to make sure that this is done the right way. And that's why, look, it doesn't pay to rush things. You rush things, you'll be rushing to the courthouse trying to fend off every court, every lawsuit that you get because you rushed to, do this. So,
Varian, stop making fun of me for going to Kickstarter without promotion. I make money, so I don't care.
Stop. Your campaigns, you're like, they just show up. But yeah, I wanted to make sure that the site was, is running properly. But yeah, Gary, it is up. You can pop over there and register, and then we'll get your account set up. And I know that and I'm still doing a couple other extra things. I'm still changing some stuff around.
You want me to throw up the banner, right? I moved over.
If you want, it's no problem. Hey, this is Indie Vault. I don't really advertise Liberty on here.
Yeah, you do, because you're my. Look, let me tell you, Liberty is distributing Terraform books. I am happy to be in business, and I want them to be successful because I'm also trying to convince a guy named Variant to cover the Barbara Unleashed series too. So I'm trying to get in this good graces right now.
Here's the thing, and I'll let you guys have it after this. I don't like. I'm probably the worst when it comes to self-promotion. I'd rather other people speak for what we're doing over there rather than put it on. Like you can go look at Indie Vault and see how many times I've had my own comics up there. It just doesn't happen because it just feels.
How do you not show off that box on every show? I don't know if you guys have seen his box. They have this Liberty box, freaking beautiful. It looks like a pizza box that's for comic books. I was like, the minute Varian showed me that. Like, I was already working for him in the radio station, but I was like, how do I get my books in there? I sent him my monster books. I sent him Jack's. Before Terraform even happened, I was like, can you distribute Jack's? And he was like, yes, I can. And Jack's, of course, is Cat Dad and Supermom. And, I mean, the quality, he's using boards with the print on the back that say Liberty. Like, I mean, this looks like something that someone has spent years developing. Like, when someone has a garden and you go visit their garden, all you see is the giant garden and you don't realize how much time they spent in the soil. That's really how I look at this. Like, people don't know how much this guy's been sitting around just planning this and thinking about it. Like, kudos to him. And I've known Varian for going on 3 years now, right? We're getting old.
Yeah.
And I remember he'd ask me every so often, what do you think about this? And I would give my opinion. But he was asking these questions that I'd never gotten asked before. And that was amazing to me because these were the same kind of questions that I felt needed to be answered for distribution and all that. So kudos to him. And I mean, Jay, you understand how hard it is to try to get your books to comic book shops, right?
Oh, sure. Yeah, it's really tough as an independent. Yeah, I mean, for me, it's been, just kind of like a one-on-one situation. I mean, I got to talk to each one individually. I mean, because I do graphic novels, we don't distribute through Diamond or anything like that. So it's really just me going to each individual comic shop or contacting them, individually one by one. So for me, it's been a slow process. And with, the COVID shutting down comic book shops, I mean, that's been a killer for them. I mean, I feel bad for them. I mean, my problems are small compared to comic shop owners. So
well, you also
try to give them support.
That's the one thing that burns me right now. Pops understands this. Us comic book creators don't have comic cons, and no one really talks about that. I give credit to Pops because he does say it. He talks about his friends not having this shows, but everyone else out there is just like, oh well, just sell to a comic book shop. We would love to sell it to the comic book shops, but no one's listening to us. God damn it!
We're trying. Hey, there's, you guys are doing your thing. You're trying. We're doing our thing. We're trying. We're trying to get people to look.
Well, it's not just the two of us. There are people actively trying to change this industry right now, which much love to everyone out there who is trying to make a difference, because there's other people. I think Varian's doing a wonderful thing. I see people with we were talking about this, Pops. Did you see what they're doing where they're now having cons that go 30 days to come Kickstarter?
But that's for one book. That's kind of,
but I don't know. Maybe it'll be more than one book by the end of it. Maybe they'll keep adding books. I'm excited because it's new.
I like the idea. It's new, but it's just a little too, they're like kind of exclusive, and that's cool. They're doing their thing. They're doing their thing. They're selling their book. That's what they're doing. They found something they want to try and see if this is going to work. I hope it works for them. I do. I mean, you can't knock anybody who's trying to make something happen. I just don't see the bringing the boat up on that one. I don't see the raising everybody on that one. I see the raising myself on that one. But that's what, he's trying to build something over there too. Everybody's trying to build something that works for them, that opens up more exposure for them. And as long as you're moving forward and you're selling books, do what you do, man.
Yeah. Speaking of that, let's get back to actual comic cons. Pops, as a fan, did you go to a lot of cons? Or is this something that you often?
I've been to a few. I mean, I got burned out on cons before they were Comic Cons, back when they were card shows and stuff like that. And I kind of got burned out on, because it was the same kind of rat racy, set up, and you didn't know the people you were dealing with. And like Comic Cons are a little better because you see people's credit and their work and whatnot. And when people are out there like selling baseball cards, it's like they're just the person selling baseball cards. You don't know if you can trust them, if that's counterfeit cards or any of that. You're just out there, But the Comic Cons, at least that's Mike Barron sitting across the table. There's a big difference with the Comic Cons. It's standing in line to meet that big guy for a half a second. That's a hard part of it, because all the time you could be spending meeting other people or looking at other stuff, and your time is limited there. I mean, I don't know, big cons, can you actually see everything in a couple of days?
Yeah, if you know how to plan your events, you can. I've been a fan in that. Pops, I appreciate you being on, but the last half an hour that we're going to have here, we're going to talk creator exclusive stuff. So I want to focus on the creative. Thank you for popping in and clarifying it. Sorry that you don't have that platform. I'm sure you'll find something else. Good luck.
Didn't really need or want that, I just want to help you guys. The group is growing, our own audience is growing. We'll do it. We'll be fine.
You do your thing. You get out there, make CronCon something big, and enjoy the madness. Thanks for popping in and explaining it to us.
Hey, why don't you join the madness?
I think I was when someone kicked me out.
Nobody's kicked you out, dude.
Out of a lot of groups. I mean, the thing is, when I get kicked out of a group, I don't go crying about it.
If you got kicked out of my group, it's because you came right at me in the group like an idiot. I know you didn't do that, so
the fight we had was on my page. All right, Pops. Thanks for being on, dude. Later. All right, so let's get to the creative side of this. Varian, are you still with us? All creators, I summon you. Come talk to me about comics. Because I want to hear from the comic creator point of view. What are you guys missing right now? That's what I wanted on this Nerd War today. I wanted to talk about how much I miss talking to fans. Oh, the stories that you get from fans. How awesome is that? Varian, I saw you unmuted.
Oh, no, I was going to say, you know what I kind of miss is it's gonna sound weird, but the rush of, is this ready? Is this done? Oh, I got to get this done. I got a week before this con to get this done. And I mean, have you ever? I don't know if you ever looked at a comic book and said, "I got a show Friday, and I've got 4 pages left to do on this book." And so you're thinking, so I still got to color it, ink it, letter it, get it printed, and still get to this show. I missed that rush. I missed that being under the gun. Not having that, it's kind of I've aimed that energy in other directions since we've been locked in for 6 months. But is I don't hate it. I don't hate it. I should have. I'm taking this time to grow, and to grow the brand and to do some other things. But I do.
And real quick, Varian, John Martin, come in and talk about it. That's what I want. I want to just talk to creators on this show. I want to talk to fans, and I want us to just meet because we don't talk anymore. We all go on these shows. We're all acting polished. We're not goofy. Like, how much fun are the after shows, Varian?
They are the bane of my existence.
They are not. He loves the after. The stuff that you get to see on Varian's after show is legendary. Like, we don't talk about it. It's like Fight Club, but oh my God, it is just amazing. And John brings up the point, and this is true, and this is where I give Varian a lot of credit. No one gives credit for Varian on this because Varian's a humble guy. I'm not humble when it comes to promoting people. Varian is giving people tens of thousands of listeners every day we do a program. He's out there making room for every creator. Dude is kicking the door open for people that even bite him, and he's there like, let him come on my show. He's like, let him say what they have to say. I appreciate everyone who's creating. I'm not going to gatekeep. How many people can you say that shit? I'll be honest, there are people I won't have on the show that'll show up, and I'm like, I'm not letting them in. Screw them. Varian will be like, come on, Rob. Just behave. Stay on the other side of the room. Don't say anything. There's been literal times Varian's told people take Rob out of the room because he's going to say something dumb. Keep him in the back until the guest is gone.
Yeah, I think that I'm becoming more like Randy though lately. I'm like, I'm getting cantankerous, and I think there's a certain level of buffoonery that I can take, and it gets to the point where, like, I don't mind opening the door for you, but you're not gonna come into the party and take craps all over everything and think I'm not gonna throw you out. I mean, if I open the door, I'm putting you back out that same way if I can. But yeah.
But let me ask you a different question. Do you think if we were still going to shows, these people would be acting the way they are? Because that's been a big thing that, and I don't want to demean this, and I want you to chime in on this. There's definitely a mental health issue going on in America and in the world right now with us not connecting with people. I have not spanked a person in 90 days. I don't know how much longer I can go, guys. It's been hard. It's been hard. I don't know what I'm going to do. I got to go clean my eyes. You guys talk about it amongst yourselves.
Yeah, I don't know. I think that it was Mike Tyson that said, Jay. He said everyone has a plan until they get punched in the mouth. Was that it?
I think so.
And I think everybody has an attitude or a something to say. We're all brave when we're behind the keyboard, behind the screen. And then if I know that I'm gonna see somebody at a show, I'm like,
yeah, it's definitely different when it's face to face, isn't it?
Yeah.
You get a lot of keyboard warriors, I think, right?
Yeah, it's like Rob is much safer to know Rob behind the screen.
It's probably the only way you're safe from Rob is through the internet connection. No, me and Rob, we've been to a lot of shows together. He's a really fun guy.
I'm sorry.
Yeah, that's one of the things we were talking earlier. As I miss the fan connection. I miss seeing all the people face to face. There you go. There's one right there.
Interaction. I mean, you can never stop it, even on this show.
Well, so I got a question for you guys. So, I mean, when do you think the in-person live conventions in physical locations are going to come back? And if and when they do come back, what form do you think they're going to take? I mean, that's my big question. I got one scheduled for January, but even the guy that's putting that one on is not 100% sure. I mean, it's like, yeah, it's on, but it's tentative. You know, we may, if there's still COVID going on, you know, we may not do it. But I mean, when do you think it's going to come back, and how's it going to come back? That's my questions.
You know, I'm thinking, like, I got a show scheduled in November, and I'm praying that goes down. We'd like for it to go down. I'm thinking maybe March, April 2021, before we start seeing, okay, we got a nice size convention back. I do not think that we're going to have I don't think we're going to have conventions be as big as they were. I think because people are going to be afraid to go out too. You know, I don't want to go around all those people. What if someone has it and they pass it to me and I take it home to grandma? And yeah, so I think there's going to be a lot of people who just stay away at first. And it's going to take a while before people, the fans, feel safe enough to come back out and, you know, frequent these shows again and huddle in masks. Because, you know, I mean, you know, you've done shows. Sometimes we're shoulder to shoulder in there. I mean,
oh yeah.
Even in Artist Alley or wherever you might be, sometimes, you know, we're packed in like sardines at those tables. So,
sure. I mean, it's a couple of times I've been in MegaCon on Saturday. You know, Saturday's the big day down at MegaCon. There's, you know, 60, 70, 80,000 people there. You can't even get down one of the aisles. I mean, it's because it's so full of people, you know. Yeah. And that's my question is, do you think we're going to see that level again? I guess the answer is probably not in the short term, but, you know, even MegaCon looks like they have plans to go again in March. I don't know how that's going to go. I mean, and if they do, will they come back to 60, 70, 80,000 people? Maybe not right away. Maybe, like you're saying, might be half that, you know?
I think that we're going to see the first couple of shows after this are going to be eye-opening.
And real quick, Varian, John Martin, we'd absolutely love you to be on these programs. You are absolutely invited. We want every creator who can just follow the coolness factor, man. Come on, be just a regular human being. Drop the act, come in and just put your feet up like we do at shows. That should be the rules from now on, Varian. Like, if you can't act like you can act in person, you shouldn't be allowed on Indie Vault.
I don't know. I have to sit back and count and seek the guidance of the elders for that one. I could be quite petty when I want to be, and you know, but however, my pettiness is also offset by the fact that I will be petty in person as well. Not secretly petty. I can be Facebook petty, but
you're the least petty person I know. You'll show up to videos where people are talking bad about you and still be respectful.
I will order 10 pizzas and send them to a person's house.
They might enjoy that.
Yeah,
I eat a lot of pizzas. See how good that is for you. Because you use your charge card to pay for it.
Yeah, oh no. I'm not using my charge card.
I tell them to bill it back to the phone.
Yeah.
COD, cash on delivery.
No, I don't like all of the I think that the division and the sometimes, like, you know, I think someone said it earlier, it's you get burned out because of all the anger and all of the fighting and all of the rumors, and you get burned out and you just stay away. I've actually my head's been down. I'm working on Liberty for like the past 2 days, and we had some medical problems this morning, but you know, I wasn't on social media. And I don't know if you guys know this, but you know, if you don't go on social media,
life is so much better.
Yeah. Yeah. It's like 2 days away, and all of a sudden I'm like, hey, you know, again, my cereal tastes better this morning. You know, it was almost it's like I have this joke that, you know, when you were a kid and you did something stupid, you almost got hurt, but you walked away with your life. You went home and you hugged your parents. I love you, Daddy. You know, just because, you know, your parents knew, oh, you did something stupid. What'd you do? I was hanging on the back of the bumper, skidding down the street on ice. That we knew, you know, they knew you did something stupid. Well, I feel like when I'm off social media, everything's much better the next day. Like, hey, I didn't see people bitching at each other and yelling and complaining, and it's nice.
The worst thing in the world is when you get one of those New Yorkers. One New Yorker is enough for a show, but when suddenly there are two guys from New York. Oh shit, JD's here. Hey, how's it going, buddy?
Everything's fine. Listen. You got to remember, Rob is from Queens. The
melting pot of the world. You're welcome, people. I don't really racism like the rest of you. I'm just saying, because I'm from the melting pot.
It really.
See, JD got
it really is. It really is. It's third level tough.
Oh, that's not what they do when they're on their back looking up.
Right. Rob knows what I mean.
JD's from Nassau. We all know JD's from Nassau County, and he's hiding it.
Right.
You
Brooklyn, sir.
You see his face? Like everyone from New York City, all you got to say you're from Nassau. They're like, motherfucker outside. What were you
saying? I teach you what Bushwick is, bruh.
Yo, I hung out Red Hook. I don't care, man. Varian, what were you gonna say?
Oh no, I was I remember someone told me a joke. It says I think it was two jokes actually. One was that Queens is New York's first line of defense against Long Island.
It really is, though. It really is. I have to give that one. There's a certain part in Queens where it starts feeling like it is Long Island. It's weird.
But I do have I did have a joke for you guys. What's green and has wheels in New York? What's green and has wheels?
Oh boy, should I take us off air for this one? Like,
seriously.
All right, go ahead.
The grass in Flushing Meadows Park, nothing has wheels. Yeah, apparently they steal cars in Flushing Meadows. Is that true?
They steal cars everywhere, and there's grass everywhere, and there's trees everywhere. I don't know if you know this, but New York actually, a lot of people who don't go to New York don't realize the boroughs are full of trees, actually. Like, New York is a very vegetative place. Like, there's trees everywhere in New York, man. Like, if you want to make jokes about your car getting stolen, we can talk about Red Hook. What don't last 20 minutes? What don't last longer than 20 minutes unattended in Red Hook?
Mm-hmm.
Your new car.
Yeah. Well, that's not really the case these days. It's been gentrified to death. So.
Not Red Hook.
Red Hook. Yeah.
Are you serious? They got Red
Hook, dude. It's all what is that? Designer cheeses and wines. It's become very, very shishi.
Yeah, $15 salads. Tell you that.
Yeah.
Wow. Yeah.
Jeez. Yeah. The worst thing in the world is Brooklyn now. You go into Brooklyn and you just suddenly grow like a ponytail back here, and there's this beard that instantly starts to grow on you. It's really awkward when the women are walking with you because the same thing happens to them. They start growing a beard, and it's all them hipsters. It's like, ew, I got hipster on my shoe. God, get it off. Because I grew up when Brooklyn was the place you went to pick things up.
Yeah.
Where you got special packages.
Yeah. Brooklyn was a lot of fun in the day.
But that you know what, Comic-Cons are definitely cool because we don't get this interaction that we do. Because I don't think a lot of people realize that as creators, we actually rely on each other. We need to talk to each other to feel things out. We have to talk about cover prices. We have to talk about how the shows are going. What show do you know is good? So much happens in person because it feels like you can talk in person. When we're on these videos, every joke we make, in the back of our head, it's like, no whammy, no whammy, no whammy. Like, we don't want any of our jokes to come back on us. Because we're throwing so much out so quickly, and like, next thing you know, you're making a joke about a green thing in Flushing, and it just fails.
Yeah, that's one of my one of the many jokes I have about New York. It's but then again, I watch a lot of Law and Order, so I know.
Have you guys seen a fight at a con?
I've seen a fight at a con.
So it's like because Pops had said when shows start, there's going to be a a lot of hugs and apologies and maybe some fat lips, I actually think that shit's gonna be like. I expect a few people to be like, say that shit now. And I'll be honest, I know a guy who's gonna do that to a couple people who's gonna be like, I'm sorry. What were you saying online?
Well, my thing is, I mean, you know, a lot of people like, look, don't let the smooth taste fool you. I was born in Detroit. Now I know JD see my house; it don't count. But I was
He was born in the burbs.
I know people talking about being born in Queens and they're over there in Lake Success.
Seriously.
But it's like there's going to be a reckoning. There's going to be a hey, what was that shit you were popping off at the mouth with, 6 months ago?
Barry's got a list too. I'll take my cane and beat a motherfucker. I'll beat you to death. And then I'll fall on the floor and be like, ow, he hit me. It's like I'm gonna catch you. And I said it before, and I'll put it on my Facebook tonight. I can't wait till I catch some of you in public. I'm gonna love it.
So I guess the moral of the story is, if you're gonna type it, make sure you can back it up, right?
Mm-hmm.
I'm gonna breakouts too. Say this no. They're gonna be like, some people are gonna be like, I don't remember saying that, Rob. What was this in reference to? This. That's exactly what everyone does. Whenever you confront someone, you notice they no longer know English.
Yeah, but the thing is, why do people even do it? What are you picking fights for online? It's like, you just might as well be staring at a mirror and picking a fight with yourself. I mean, what are you getting angry at? The monitor?
Oh, now I've done it. Now I'm. What I do?
Stop, man.
What did I do? Luke Stone, he did his hair too. There's a lecture coming up. I feel it. Rob, violence is not the answer. It was a joke. I'm really not going to hit too many people.
No, man, I saw Jay on there with Astral, and I was like, man, it's so cool that he's on the show and that JD's on the show. Some great books, man. Great books.
Thank you.
So what about you, Luke? Are you missing shit? Like, I mean, we were talking about, like, the one thing about cons I miss the most is interacting with just not the creators, but the fans themselves. There's something about a fan giving you that feedback that empowers you to keep going through the mundane, especially the online nonsense of the people who review your covers. And that could just be my books, to be honest with you. Some of my books get harsh reviews because they've read the cover and know everything about what's inside. How about you guys? Do you miss that interaction? Because that fuels me.
I mean, it's definitely energizing to me.
Well, so I caught a little bit of America's Got Talent yesterday morning, and they're doing it in the studio with like cameras, like video screens with people, and the people they're not performing as well, they're not singing as well, they're not, it all seems a little dry, and having performed and done that kind of stuff, I totally get that there's an energy that is created between you and the crowd. And when that's missing, it just falls a little flat. And the same thing goes for kind of conventions and things like that. There's this energy between creator and fan when they get a chance to be able to connect that we're just missing right now.
Yeah, and, Luke, do you think that's true of sports as well? We got all these empty stadiums and stuff.
I do. Well, yeah, I think it's true of sports. I think it's true of for churches. I think it's true of the pastors. There's that lack of energy. There's something that happens that's inherent in human beings, that when we are together and we have that back and forth, it's just different. And
but did you guys see the NFL yesterday?
What?
Did anyone watch the NFL yesterday? Am I the only one who watched football yesterday?
No, I didn't watch it. No.
Okay, they had fans in the seats, and it sounded so good to hear fans, and they didn't have the full stadium. They were so shy about showing how many empty seats there were. They wouldn't show the faraway shots just because of that. But it was so great to hear the fans. WWE has that Thunderdome. I know Varian's not a fan, and it's really just because they haven't invited Varian. I think he's applied like 10 times, and he still hasn't been approved. I think it's just a vendetta against WWE.
Yeah, they never let me in there.
I've been watching the UFC, and guys are still getting knocked out, so I'm good.
That's the New Yorker in him. Just show me violence. Put two rats in a cage. I'm good.
Yeah, I don't think that with me they would want me on Thunderdome.
You'd have the Benoit sign hanging by a noose.
No. It's just like the temptation to do something on screen is just too great, and
we're on screen all the time, Varian.
Yeah, I can resist anything but temptation. So
that's it. I can resist anything.
The minute you give him rules, he'll be like, "Oh shit!" He's like a whore in confession.
Well, you know that I've been trying to get out of hosting duties on every show I possibly can.
Yeah, he keeps giving me new shows.
Welcome
to Nerd of War.
I don't want to be a host. Hosting bites, man.
He was coming in and stirring the pot and being like, "Well, what if Starscream was a woman?"
Well, yeah, I'll do stuff like that. Well, she is. I think you guys need to come down to the fact that Starscream is a woman, has been a female. I mean, it's clear she's a female Transformer, and Megatron and she had a relationship. Okay, and well, yes, and I would venture to say that. Listen. My wife knows how to push my buttons. Yet I keep her around. Okay. When is someone who is the same gender as I, they're pushing my buttons, I get rid of that person, especially when they threaten to commit mutiny.
Mm-hmm.
So what I'm saying is this: the fact that Megatron knew that Starscream was continually behind his back trying to usurp him, and he was still around the next episode, hanging out, they were screwing. And what's more, it's proven by the fact that when they did the movie and he died, what did Starscream do? Starscream went and had a coronation. That was not a regular crown. That was a female crown in his head. You know why he had a crown, don't you? Because he the king of Megatron's world.
I thought you were gonna say he was the queen.
I have so many questions. So many questions right now. But I do like the word choices. But let's get back on topic here. Let's talk about
Nerd War. Just Starscream as a female. Get it done.
Gary Henderson said, "I miss the crowd talking to other creators." How about this? Having dinner with the new friend, all those dinners that you have. Let's be honest. Sometimes, like grudges and bad blood is worked out at a dinner table. If not, new relationships, new business ventures. How many times have you guys sat at a table, met someone who's changed your life? You know what I mean? I met Varian at a table. We had a meal over at Disney Springs, and most expensive meal I've ever had. And I heard Varian's franchise options that he wants to bring to the United States. And since then, we've just been fast friends. But that's what you need. You need to be able to connect with people. How much do you guys miss that?
Yeah, I forgot about my franchise option. I need to get back on that.
Yeah.
I want to talk about it on this show, not on air, but
no, please.
Yeah.
Please, no.
One thing at a time. Bring liberty to fruition.
Yeah.
Become a millionaire and then be like Trump and do whatever you want.
Yeah.
Exactly.
They won't be able to say anything. They're like, that's Varian. Yeah.
And everyone's going to come out of morbid curiosity.
Yeah. That's it's the hiring process. It's going to be the hardest part.
Yeah.
Not getting people in the seats. But you miss that seriously, like sitting around and being just stupid with your fellow creators, but still being able to talk about the business, understand what's happening. Some of it is like, creators, bunch of bitchy little girls. Yes, there's a little bit of that, but more importantly, when you're around other creators, there's an energy you share with each other. It's almost like a creative hug that keeps you like, hey, I'm not in this alone. I'm here with Luke Stone, and we're here with JD. I'm here with Jay. I'm here with Varian. I'm not alone. I'm part of something bigger than just me. And I don't have that right now. Even being on these shows, I mean, I hang out a lot with Barry and Luke and Randy, and that's like a family to me right now. It's like connecting to my creative family, and we can't pass each other books. We can't mess with each other as much. Like it's still just a screen. This is just me touching a screen. I don't get to interact, and I I don't know how happy he's going to be about this, but. Joel Rodriguez, who makes Dust County Chronicles. I know Jay knows him. I don't know if Luke knows him personally.
Yeah, I've seen him at a bunch of shows. He's a really good guy.
He is. He's wonderful. And he always has the perfect seat. So I happen to always be borrowing his seat from him. And I can't do that online. I can't borrow his seat online. But it's stuff like that. It's like signing your friend's books when you have no right to sign your friend's books.
Terrible.
Leaving little messages about you'll never know where I left this and which copy. And you know your friend's like, would he really have done that? And they're looking through the books while you left them. I miss that. I miss messing with my friends and hanging out. I think to me that is like some of the worst part of this whole thing. So let's go around the room, though. I want to talk about happier stuff. What's the best convention you've gone to and why? We'll start with Luke since he was last one in. And don't you dare say Ancient City.
I was going to say Ancient City because I sold out. And I met Rob there, and he couldn't say anything. He didn't have a voice. So it was probably the most pleasant interaction I've ever had with him. Mm-hmm. And so, yeah, Ancient City.
I laugh because I know the way Rob feels about Ancient City.
I'll thank Luke for coming. JD, what do you got?
I think for me, wow, I've done, you guys have done tons of shows. I've done tons of shows. Probably there was one year I went to San Diego Comic-Con, and I went with a bunch of friends. There must have been like 10 of us cramped into 2 rooms. And we were there and we had a great time. And then afterwards, myself, my wife Daphne, a couple of our friends, from there we flew out to Vegas, and we did a bunch of stuff. We went through the desert. We went to the Grand Canyon, and we enjoyed the Strip and all that stuff. And that was probably the best one. That was the most fun. I think it had more to do with the fact that we took a vacation afterwards in Vegas.
Jay, do you need Luke's knife that he stabbed me in the back with about Ancient City, or are you going to pick a different kind?
What do you mean? Was that actually a knife? I mean, it
was more like a Nerf sword, is what it was.
Exactly.
In all fairness, no one did good at that show except for
no.
And I was injured to the point I could not speak. Like I had a legit throat injury that I literally couldn't speak at all. I sold some books, even without a voice. I sold more books than some of the other people in that show. I still outsold other people. But Luke Stone's walking over me. He's like, this show's great. I sold every book out. This is awesome. I want to come back here. And I'm like, I hate you.
Did you have the little kazoo thing? You could have done that for the entire show.
I'm writing signs and shit. That's where the signs come from, Varian. It all started at Ancient City Comic Con where I had to write signs.
Where was that show? Where was it?
St. Augustine.
It was like north of St. Augustine, World Golf Village.
Mm-hmm. It was where Caddyshack was. I will say, though, that place with the food, great steak sandwiches.
Yeah, the food is great there. The service is terrible.
Yeah, service is bad.
I can't great servers. Maybe they just like
hello from New Zealand.
We're someone from New Zealand? Come on, I want to hear about New Zealand Comic Cons. Someone send that man a link, or maybe a woman. I don't know. Send that person a link. So, Jay, what's your favorite show?
Oh gosh, my favorite shows have really been the smaller ones. I mean, Infinity Con at Lake City was really good for me. I sold out, but that show had a good energy in it, and that's one that's like. They do that one in March of every year. I always do good at that show. I don't know. I guess maybe the crowd that comes, they're just really most of them are into sci-fi action. I got a lot of fans at that show. Talk to a lot of people. It's very interactive. So I'd say Infinity Con's probably, it's between that and D-Land, and DeLand is the one that's the next one I'm signed up for in January. I do really good at that one too. It's just funny how you do better at the smaller shows, really, a smaller medium size than MegaCon, Ancient City. I haven't done too well at those. I think it's all about being more focused. I think maybe the people that are coming in, if they know you're going to be there, especially if you go year after year, they're coming to see you. That's the way it's been for me at InfinityCon, Lake City, and D-Land. Yeah.
I do want to say the smaller shows like Daytona. Daytona is a fantastic show, ran by the same person who does D-Land. I'm probably going to try to get into D-Land as well. Those are amazing. There's a local one I'm wearing at Southwest Florida Space Con. I do horrible at it, but it's a well put together show and it's fun. So, and it's literally like a mile, 4 miles away from my house. So I love going to it. I think the smaller shows, just you get more appreciation. The bigger shows, it's like, where's Bruce Willis? And you're like, I don't care. I know.
Well, half the time, even if they're looking for you, they can't find you at the bigger shows anyway. I looked for you for 2 hours. I couldn't find you.
I have a giant sign that goes on my table. There's no missing me. You find me at my shows. What about you, Varian? Are you a fan of the smaller shows? I know that Randy does some great shows, I'm told, up there around you.
Yeah, Randy does some shows which, I think are really cool. He does a show in Flint, does a show in Saginaw. They're smaller shows. But yeah, for me, though, one of my favorite shows was, you guys are probably going to all moan when you hear this, was 2012, 2013 was Wizard World Chicago. It was, Wizard had decided they wanted to make some money. And as such, they totally oversold the entire venue. So there was a point where Artist Alley, there was no Artist Alley. It was all over the convention center. They were putting people in the loading docks. When I tell you, I'm gonna find the pictures. I'm pretty sure Lola has the pictures of some of the signage. People were taping their table signs up on post, like they do, like when you see a movie set in Vietnam, where they put this, I'm this way and this is. They were doing that. But I tell you right now, I made a decent amount of money at that show, and the money was flowing, and I was very happy. But when you talk about the smaller shows, I mean, I do Randy's Flint Comic Con every year. It's in a farmer's market, which is really cool because there's lots of good food around. So I don't eat the entire day before, and then while I'm at the con, I'm picking out. And the problem with that is people want to buy comics. I'm like, hey, I'm eating. What's your problem?
Marion, that's a rookie mistake. You're supposed to eat a lot for the 2 days before the show to expand the stomach and get it ready for what you're about to do.
I'm not missing out on that farmer's market food. That shit's delicious.
No, you take a laxative before the show. That's all you do. Clean it out. Get all the room you need. Look at JD. JD's like, what the hell are they talking about?
No, I know what you're talking about. I'm just like, why would you do it to yourself?
Yeah.
More room. I eat things that are bad for me all the time. It'll be like KFC night, and I know what KFC late night's going to happen. I know where I'm going to spend the rest of my evening, but it's still KFC night because it still tastes good.
KFC is going to mess with me. I think it will mess with you. Taco Bell's breakfast.
I can't even do Taco Bell. I go into Taco Bell, I run just the air gets me.
Guys, I got to get out of here, but I will see you all very shortly. I'll probably pop back in a little bit later, but I'll talk to you guys later. Everyone stay safe. I'm going to go lay down.
All right.
You too. Thanks, Barry.
Yep.
Feel better.
Yep.
See you, Bob.
Yeah, but I'm telling you, man. Meredith, come on in. Stop making Meredith just walk into the damn room. I'm not reading your comments anymore. You got the keys.
Yes, Meredith.
I want to talk
Jay
about
is from Florida
because Jay did ask about it, and we kind of got distracted when JD came in. So let's get back to Jay's comment. Cons, when do they restart? I mean, Varian had said that he thinks we're talking about March. There's Baltimore is just not freaking giving up. Baltimore is going on like they're really going to do a con. I think Baltimore will be the first big show of the year since C2E2. if they go off. And they're 4 weeks away this weekend, right? No. 5 weekends away at this point. We have 5 weeks until Baltimore Comic-Con. Do you think those crazy son of a bitches are actually going to do it?
No, I don't see it happening.
Stopped?
Yeah, because I think there's a couple of reasons behind it. One, if the state stops them, then I don't know if they have a force majeure portion of their contract for insurance, because then they might not be able to get cover their refunds. You know what I mean?
That happens around 6 weeks. I've never seen a con get this close, except for Tampa, and the city shut them down because of concerns. You remember that, Jay, right? Like, that had nothing to do with anything. It was the city that came in, and then they shut down WrestleMania at the same time.
Right. Meredith.
Oh, Meredith.
How you doing?
The same thing with media. So that could be it, that the city just hasn't yanked it yet. You're not wrong. That could, but they sound confident that they're going to keep going. I'm like kind of debating that the Baltimore's not that far from Florida.
Yeah,
it's entertaining. I'm going to eat some popcorn and see what they do.
We have shows going in Jersey. There's some guys, they're running shows out in Jersey, and they're doing them. There's one guy, his show was normally 1 or 2 days. Now he's doing 3-day shows, and he's doing them practically every month.
I've been told not to report on certain shows because they're trying to stay under the radar. Is that what he's doing? The word of mouth shows. Like, there are literally Comic-Cons out there, if you don't know, guys watching, that are literally happening, like, Facebook messaging everybody to show up. I mean, this is like crazy. It's like, yo, I got comics. Why don't you come by my thing and get some comics for you? It's like what's going on right now in some places, and I won't report on it. I don't even report on store signings unless someone tells me to. Like, directly, hey, Rob, no, tell people I'm going to be at the store. Otherwise, I keep my mouth shut because I don't want anyone having the cops show up to shut them down.
Right.
So you're saying there's like a Comic-Con underground going on, something like that?
A little bit right now. Like, they pop up, they tell people through groups. If you're in the Facebook group, you get told about it, and your friends tell your friends. It's very local. They're not trying to drag in creators from any other state. Because, I mean, think about it. If Baltimore happens, and I was going to seriously consider doing Baltimore, and they had some sort of quarantine, that means I'd have to start leaving for Baltimore in 2 weeks, and then stay in Baltimore for 2 weeks. So I just don't see how they're going to how that's going to happen. Meredith?
Yes.
What do you think? Like, is Baltimore going to happen 5 weeks from now? Do you think they got? I mean, it's DC. Crazy shit happens in DC.
I don't know if I'd want to be in DC anyway.
Right near election, mind you, just weeks away from the election. So
I think that's just crazy.
Well, we did have a guest on recently who said that in DC, no one really cares. Like, they're just Democrats and Republicans. There's not a lot of protests that are violent in DC because they're just so used to it. It's part of the rhythm of the city. And I was at Baltimore Comic-Con, and I actually enjoyed Baltimore Comic-Con.
It's a nice show.
It's a really cool show. I dug it. I like Baltimore. You could take mass transit in Baltimore. I like cities that you can take mass transit because you can either park your car, or if you fly in, you don't got to worry about it. And, I can go around touristing at night. Oh, man, I missed getting out of the show and bitching to everyone about either bragging or bitching. That's the two things. You're either bragging or bitching. Oh, this show is great, fantastic. Well, fuck these people. They couldn't fucking run a horse to water.
Let me ask you a question. Do you think, all right, for me, right, I stopped going to, I've been to Boston. I did Boston Comic-Con, I think, for 8 or 9 years straight, right? Did great every year up until the last year. And I'm going to say a name, and I have a lot of respect for the man, and I like him, and I like his work. I think he's a great guy. But I think he's a show killer for independent comics creators, and his name is Bill Shatner. And whenever Bill Shatner shows up to a show, it craps out for me. And I'm like, and I have to give up on the show. So I don't know if you guys ever experienced anything like that. Not necessarily with Bill or, maybe another creator. I don't know.
I don't know. Everyone bitches about MegaCon, but I do okay at MegaCon. It's all about your niche, your hustle, and how you get out there. I do find that hanging a giant sign that says free hugs and spanks, it brings the boys to the yard.
Oh, okay. Well,
girls too.
I think people who attend the Comic Cons, not so much the vendors and the creators and things like that, they come with a certain amount of money. So when you have a big star like Shatner, they're going to blow it on the photograph and the autograph and not much left for anybody else, I think. That's my opinion.
Yeah, but
it happens a lot at MegaCon. I remember one of the last years I was there, they had a double whammy. They had Jeff Goldblum from Jurassic Park, Jurassic World, and they had Jason Momoa there. And forget it, nobody had any money. Their lines were 2 hours to get a photo with them. I think their lines were just a couple hours to get an autograph, and they were charging, I think it was like $90 for a photo and 60 or 70 for an autograph. See you later. Yeah. Nobody's got any money.
Yeah.
Not even me. I went to see Goldblum.
I did rather well. I hate to be that guy. Like, I feel like Luke Stone now talking about Ancient City. Everyone complained about MegaCon, but I'll be honest, man. Maybe my freaks were just present because I did rather well, man. Like, I cannot complain about MegaCon. I know a lot of people do bitch about it. I really think it's the interaction with people. They're in a tourist town. So you got to be like the New Yorker, like JD. Be, yo, you like comics? Come on over here. Let me show you some stuff. Don't make me come out.
But Rob, when you were there, did you do better with Barbara or did you do better with Cat Dad?
I didn't have Cat Dad. This was back when I just had Barbara, 3 issues. I didn't even have the survey out yet. I had 2 books of the monsters, and we only had 1 advocator at that point. Put me back in this year, I would have. Don't tell me, IRS. I would clear easily probably a grand at a show like that. Easily a grand at a show like that. With all the books I have now, this was going to, honestly, kidding around aside, this was going to be the year I was going to test having all these titles. We had all the advocators. I now had Cat Dad and Supermom. Back then, it was just a thought. Well, I didn't even have it yet. So now I have this. I have Jax the Anderson, but that was a little different. It was a very kiddie book, very young audience, and I gave more away than I sold, honestly. Because I'm a sucker for a little kid who falls in love with my comic, and then you have like parents like, oh, I don't have $5. Oh, I'm sorry, that Joker fan art must have really cost you a lot. That guy paid 50 cents, you son of a bitch. Here, kid, have a book, get a better parent. No, I'm kidding. I kid the parent. But no, yeah, I mean, I did well at MegaCon. Raleigh, SuperCon's awesome. New York Comic Con. I was on, it's funny, if you go to my page, and some people know this, I set up on a hand truck at New York Comic Con with Shepherd creator Andrea Molinari. We were upstairs. Amazing show. Made everything I had to make back for the table expense. So got all the money for the driving up and all that. New York's an expensive one. The hotels, and like I stay in a hotel and I went live in it. I'm not kidding you. I might have my bathroom's bigger than their actual bedroom. Not kidding. And it's extra to get a shower in your room and a toilet in your room. Not kidding. Again, not kidding. And that cost me like $700 alone. So a show like New York Comic Con, you can make money, but by the end of it, you didn't make any. Yeah. Like you get a slice of pizza and then that's it. That's the end of your profit. But that's a show that you're doing to establish your name and to see what audience you have. And again, the more books you have, when we get there with Terraform one day with New York Comic Con, the library that we're building, we should be all right. And that's
going to be epic.
Yeah, that's what it is. You got to build these things, and people don't understand that. And that's why I think a lot of people are suffering this year. A lot of creators stay in debt for a very long time until something starts working their way. Their libraries there. This was supposed to be one of those years for me where I'd worked so hard and gotten it to a point, and I was at a point where suddenly I could make money, and then they said, pause. What do you mean pause? I can't pause. I need to move.
It's Rob's fault.
Not my fault. No. I said close off China. They got sick, and I was like, close the borders. Everyone out. Do not let it in. People are like, that's such gatekeeping. I'm like, happy to do it. Make it my fault. Do not let them in. I'm a germaphobe, let me tell you. I come back from a show, and I'm sick, and I'm like, I hate everybody. I had wet ones with me at every show. Every person I shake a hand, there was always lotion on my hand next. I was always one of those guys, very conscientious. And I gave out free hugs and spanks, and I still was conscientious. I would even clean the hand before the spank and clean it after the spank. That's how I was. That's the gentleman I am.
Wash it after.
You can't always wash it. You can't always wash it. You got to stay at your table. But, again, there are moments that you don't get. That smell. When you guys hit the convention center, that smell of those conventions, they all smell the same, right?
I don't miss that. I don't miss that smell of body odor.
No, you're talking about in the show. I'm talking about when you get to the show.
Wow.
during setup. There's this unique smell at all of those big convention centers. I don't know what it is. It's part disinfectant, part food, part garbage from the back dock, part like paint, whatever they just painted.
Yeah, I can tell you about a unique smell. Sorry about that, bro.
What's that?
I can tell you about a unique smell at one show that I went to, Madison Square Garden, right?
Oh, yeah.
So did you ever do that show?
The one next door, the Big Apple, right?
Yeah, no, not Big Apple. They actually did it in Madison Square Garden. They
I
did it for
heard
2 or
about
3
that.
years.
I didn't get to actually do that show because, again, Madison Square Garden is not a great place to have a Comic-Con. You know, and that was when I just hurt my back, I believe. So I
Gotcha.
stared at the problem.
The show was actually really good for us, but it was held in a spot where they would store all the circus animals. So it smelled like elephant pee. So that's how we referred to the show. It was the elephant pee show. That's because that was the space. That's what it smelled like the entire weekend.
New York urine is part of the smell. Like you get to your Comic-Con, like urine, hot dogs, pizza, and just a touch of sewer rat. And that's oh my God, am I home? I can smell New York from New Jersey. I'm driving, I'm like, oh, there it is. There it is, New York.
Look,
stronger.
Jersey got its own smell, man.
Yeah, Jersey's toxic Avenger. Like you try to put the windows up when you're going through Jersey. It could be 200 degrees outside. You're like, nah, man, I'm good. Air conditioner's you're just dripping. I'll be all right till I get to New York. You know, it has to be bad when you grow up with urine smell being part of the city's smell, despite all the trees, and you go to New Jersey and go, ew.
Yeah, there's certain parts of it that is so the chemical smell is terrible. You know, especially once you come out of New York, you drive for maybe a good 30 minutes. It's horrible, that smell.
Daphne says nothing like watching a customer fret over paying $5 for a comic while they're wearing a $700 celebrity meetup pass around their neck. I don't talk to those people. I'll be honest with you. I have quick pitches just for that. There are people like, because I'll be at my table and I'll be bored and I'll be like, hey, you. And I'm like, have you ever read a comic book? And they're like, no. And I'm like, good. I have a comic book just for you. And I bring them over. And if I see that celebrity badge, I'm like, yeah, it doesn't have a celebrity. You're good. You're good. The free, realistically, I've gotten to the point where my posters, my banners speak for myself a lot. I wait for people to approach me. And my friends are like, Rob, you're not going to get any sales. Meanwhile, end of the day, they're like, how come so many people stop by? Because like even people who don't want a hug or a spank, they think it's funny. They get the joke. They get that it's a sense of humor moment. And they enjoy it. And they go, okay, what's with the free hug and spank? And I can tell them about all the books I sell. I've sold a lot of advocators that way, just by that creative way to, you know, push my wares, get out there, talk about what you're doing. And I miss that because I can't, these banners don't sell anything from here, people. You're all watching me. You're judging me. You're just watching me for 5 minutes at a time and going, maybe I'll check him out later. I'm not going to right now. Buy my books, please. Doesn't work as well online. But if I'm in person, I can be like, no, I've got no gas. You see my kid? Look at this boy. He needs to eat. All right, guys, we're hitting the 90-minute mark. We're going to start heading out of here. I want to keep this show down to about 90 minutes, an hour to 90 minutes, just because I think having a cutoff time makes it a little more, hey, we got to wrap this up. Thank you all for joining us. And this is kind of what I want with this show, just hanging out and laughing. How many shows are actually geared to just doing that, having fun? Comics can be fun, and I do a serious show with the Devil's Advocate. We talked about something serious today a little earlier. We gave Pops a little time because he's someone in the industry trying to help other people. We're happy to give him the space, but mostly these shows won't be that serious. And Pops wanted to do it because, there's some things going around about him. Let's all stop talking about each other. Today's September 11th. It's a very bad day for me. I grew up in New York City. JD, I'm sure, is feeling it too. There's no way not to feel the pain of the day. It stains your soul and it stays with you and it hurts. So it was nice to have this tonight. It was nice to have this moment to just hang out and be stupid and talk about how much I missed cons, because we don't talk about that a lot. We've had to eat so much shit this year that we don't get to ever stop and go, fuck, I missed that. And I'm glad that you all came on tonight and had that with me. Let's go around the room. We'll start in the order you came in. Luke, tell them about that hybrid.
Yeah, hybrids, Sons of Gods. the Trash Day arc, the trade paperback, is on Indiegogo right now. We've got like 6 or 7 days left for the first 30 days. I keep getting that. Everyone asks, is the first 30 or the second 30? Well, I don't know why it matters. I've got a few days left. You should definitely check it out. We've got a lot of great perks up there. A lot of things that you can get, especially some original art. We've got new covers for the original 5. We've got a special Kanan White cover that is really, really cool that you guys should totally check out. But definitely go by my website, lukestonestudios.com. That's Luke Stone Studios with an S on the end, .com. And you can get a link right to that Indiegogo. You can also find my Twitter and my Instagram and my Facebook stuff there as well. While you're at it, sign up for the mailing list and then head on over to terraformcomics.com. Sign up for that mailing list too.
Hi. All right, you guys, I'm Meredith Loughran. I am the project coordinator for INDEE Event. That's INDEEVENT, and I am already starting to book for the November event. That is going to be November 9th through the 13th. We are going to keep the theme with darkness and spooky stuff, kind of on the tail end of Halloween, and working in a cosplay contest. So, I mean, there's a lot of stuff that is that I'm working on right now. If you are at all interested, if you do horror, thrillers, crime, noir, goth, underground, we're inviting all of you. If you have a show and you want to be part of the playlist, let me know. You can reach me at meredith@geekinsider.com.
How you doing, everyone? My name is JD Calderon. I'm the writer and creator of the Oswald Chronicles, currently up on Kickstarter. I have about 2 more days. This is the current books that are up there, so go check that out. And that's pretty much it. You can find me at theoswaldchronicles.com and JD Calderon on Facebook and YouTube.
All right. Last chance for me. Shameless plug. J Magnum here. So we got these 2 books going on Kickstarter next week, starting September 15th. So you get Astral Genesis and Astral Evolution, and pre-order our new book, Astral Alliance. You can also reach out to me. I'm on Facebook under J Magnum, also Twitter as well. Website, astralgenesis.com. So visit us there. And it's been great spending time with you guys tonight. Thanks, Rob. Having a lot of fun.
And we are out of here, guys. I appreciate you all hanging out with us. You can find me on Indiegogo at Cat Dad and Supermom. Please get a couple copies. Turns out that you have to make $100 to get money from Indiegogo, so you need 30 more bucks. Help a brother out. Get my damn book. Teach your kids. You know what? Every indie creator actually out there that's talking smack right now, you need this book. You need an education on how to stop being a bully. Stop bullying people out there. And when you take a screen cap of me, for God's sake, this side, please. I look so much better this way. Don't do this one. Don't be rude. Thank you for screen capping me. I love you. I love the fans. I'll send you an autograph picture anytime. And if you also want to screen cap something, I always suggest the finger because it's got nice tattoos. Look at that. And notice the Deadpool's set up right the right way. See, if he's like this, he's the wrong way. That's because he gives this feature. Thank you for screen capping. We'll see you next time on Nerds of War.